Hi, it's Sandy Wiley, and today's video is going to be about affairs. A lot of people have affairs. I think over 50% of married people have affairs. I have had several affairs. I had a 2-year affair with my psychologist. I had a 5-month affair with another married man who had 2 daughters when my son was in the hospital. And then I had a real quickie affair that was only 2 months at work because this guy sexually harassed me and I was going through a severe depression and I gave in to him. I wasn't at all attracted to him. Now, there's 2 types of affairs, first of all. There's an emotional affair where there's nothing physical going on, nothing sexual or physical going on, no kissing, no making out, no sex. And then there's a physical affair, which is, of course, sex. Usually, the emotional affair precedes the physical affair. Now, what is an emotional affair? Okay, an emotional affair is when you talk to someone that isn't your spouse and let them in on very personal and deep issues, secrets, desires, fantasies, dreams, what's going on, something that you're keeping from your spouse, but you're talking to with someone else of the opposite sex. You see, and you're keeping that away from your spouse or your partner, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be married to be an affair. So you're relying on that person emotionally, and you're being with that person, you're giving that person the space that you should be giving your partner. And that is what an emotional affair is. You're closing off emotionally from your partner as you're moving toward the person that you're developing an emotional bond with, replacing what you would be sharing with your partner. If it replaces it and you find yourself sharing more with someone else than your partner, then it's an emotional affair. And of course, we all know what a physical affair is, right? Now, affairs don't always result from lack of sex. They don't. A lot of people have affairs with other people that are much uglier than their spouse, and they go, well, we don't understand that. Or, they might even be having a great sex life or plenty of sex with their spouse. It's not always about sex, okay? It can be about sex, lack of sex. Sure, I'm not denying that. But what I'm saying is usually there's an underlying reason why someone has an affair. It really means there's something wrong with the primary relationship. Okay, I'm going to quote a guy I had an affair with. His name was Randy. He told me if it's cooking in the kitchen, they won't go out to dinner. Meaning, if someone is happy, right, if there's food that's nourishing and delicious in your kitchen, are you going to go out are you going to call for takeout? Are you going to go out? You see what I'm saying? Is your primary relationship nourishing and fulfilling to you? If it is, then you won't need to look outside of it. So that's the big red flag right there, that your primary relationship is lacking and is in danger. That's when people have affairs. Affairs are very intoxicating. They're very exciting, and they're good escape routes. My first affair is when my son got stricken down with meningitis, and he was in the hospital. And I went to see him all day from like early in the morning till like when my boyfriend Randy picked me up in the evening, and that was like an escape for me, like alcohol is escape for me now. I didn't drink back then, so I wasn't alcoholic, but I used that affair to escape my day-to-day of being in the hospital with my son 7 days a week from early in the morning till the evening when this man picked me up. It was horrendous. It was a nightmare. I needed a space where I could just like get away from that situation. And that's what the affair provided me with. An escape. It also gets intoxicating, just like, alcohol is intoxicating. it's a drug. And that kind of thing, it releases endorphins. It releases these oxytocin, these chemicals in us. So it is a drug. The affair becomes a drug that you need and you crave just to function, right? To get me through that day in those days for 2 years. Well, I didn't have the affair for 2 years. It was only like 5 months. But to get me through that time, the critical time. The first 5 months were very critical because we didn't know anything. We didn't know what was going to happen. Get me through that critical time. I needed that escape. I needed to leave that hospital and put that life behind me. It was like a double life. Put that life behind me and just escape from it. Just get away from it for a few hours, right, in the evening until the next day when I return to it. A lot of people here, I know there's people who are adamant that once a person cheats, that's it. The relationship is over. There's no going back. But I disagree because I cheated several times and I'm still with my husband. And I'm faithful now to my husband. So just because your partner cheated or you cheated doesn't mean that the relationship has to be over. Yes, the trust is broken. I agree. But it doesn't mean that the relationship has to be over. A lot of people think that's it. No more, no turning back. And I'm going to disagree with you because I'm living proof, right? I've been married 35 years. So I'm living proof that you're wrong, that people can recover from affairs. You can get counseling. You know I'm not big on counseling, right? If you know me at all and watch any of these videos or read my books, and you'll know I'm not. But it just, I'm not going to say the old cliche, it takes time. What does it take to recover? It just takes more and more days that are better than the past days or past years were. It takes more and more days where your partner is faithful to you, so it's going to, I don't want to say the cliche, but it's going to take the time. It's going to take more and more positive experiences. How do you get over a negative experience? By having more positive experiences. That's how you do it. So the more and more positive experiences that you have with your partner, right, puts behind in the rearview mirror. I'm not telling you to forget. I'm just saying it puts it further and further. It's like you're driving away from something, right? And the further away from it you drive, you look in the rearview mirror, and that's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And you get the point, right? It doesn't always work. I'm not saying. I'm just saying I'm a case where it does work. So, a lot of people carry shame with them around cheating, though it's very, very common. It's extremely common. You're not alone if you cheated on your partner, or if you were cheated on. You are not alone, okay? There's a whole bunch of us out there going to hell now. But you can work it out. You can get through it. You just got to figure out what it was that caused you to cheat in the first place. What was it? What was causing it? Because if you don't get under that, what caused it, then you will go on to keep cheating because you never got to the bottom line of what made you cheat in the first place, right? And I just think it's an estrangement from your spouse, from your primary relationship, your partner. I don't always mean to say spouse because some people aren't married. It's just an estrangement. You feel estranged, so what do? You turn to someone else. You could be going through a crisis, like I was going through a crisis when my son was in the hospital. Or you could have a stale relationship where, it just is dull. It lacks excitement. You come home from work, you eat dinner, you read the paper, you put the tube on, right? Dull. But isn't it exciting to go out with someone new, right? A shiny new boy in a hot black sports car, whisking you away, the illicit affair, the new sex, not the same person you've had like 100 years, right? It's exciting, You've got to always try to put that that spark back into your your primary relationship by trying, you can't make the person be new, but you can do new things with the person, right? Like, we went to Paris. You can go to exotic places. We went to Aruba. That was gorgeous, Aruba. Have any of you been to Aruba? Do new things. I don't know, go skydiving. It's not for me, but just do exciting things in your relationship. Sure, you can't try different sexual positions, buy some toys. You know what I'm saying? Just do something exciting and something different. You need variety is the spice of life, and in a relationship that lacks variety and always stays the same like that, and that's one that someone will look outside and say, "Oh my God, this thing seems so more exciting than me working all day, coming home and throwing the tube on or reading the paper." Right? This woman seems so much more, or this guy seems so much more alluring, right? Because you know what? You don't pay the bills. You don't with this person. You don't wake up in the morning and get that person's bad breath and before they showered, right? You don't see that, hear that person or smell that person fart. That's why the other person is always so much better, right? Because you don't experience these mundane things with the other person. Once you've been with the other person and you experience these mundane things, right? These human things, right? Like farting, like bad breath in the morning, like, you know, whose turn is it to do what or where, once you experience all that, or without makeup or doing your hair, right? Then that person's not going to be too interesting either. And what are you going to do? Keep having affair after affair because a person becomes boring? You got to make your life what it is. You got to put some spark and some zest into it. So yeah, I'll leave you with that for now, and there's more to always discuss, but I don't want to make these videos too long, like my roses. So take care for now.